Okay, I think we can get to it. We're just starting out with a cat butt in our faces. Oh, we need some character creation music. We were using Cave of Time before. Nah, let's do something else. We got The Age of Sail sounds good. We'll bring that up. All right, come over to our dice roller. Hit reset. Based on pictures, it looks like I have a strip of gold pressed latinum. Oh. Hey, that's if the Ferengis will take it as currency, you know it has to be worth something. Okay, once more, here we go. What is the gender of this character, and is it going to be a multi-classed one? These will be important things to know for when we weave him or her into the story at the end of the week. This is percentile. Hit it. 14. This is going to be a female. A female what? We're going to roll a 1d10 and reroll a 10. 3. What is 3? Halfling. And we're going to roll this one more time for odds or evens for the subrace. First subrace. That's going to be Lightfoot. Okay. Alignment is going to be 2D percentiles for each of the axes. 34 and 68. That's going to put us in good. And 68 is going to put us in neutral. No good. Well, neutral good, but NG is shorthand for no good anyway. The level of the character is going to be a percentile on a distribution spread here. Let's put that back down to 1D100. Bada boom, we got a 50. 50 is level 9. And we have a level 9 what? We'll determine after we see if this character uses feats. Percentile. 20, no feats. This is going to be 2 ability score increases or ASIs. Class is a D12. 11. 11 is Warlock. Oh, I don't know if we've made a Warlock yet. This could be interesting. Warlock, and specifically here, we are going to roll 2d3 because one is going to give us our Pact boon, and the other is going to give us the... so the Pact boon is what an aspect of the pact that you make manifests in some way. And then we also need to see with whom this Warlock makes the pact. Delcorin says that's my alignment. Is that is your alignment no good or neutral good? Two. All right, so we're gonna roll 2d3s. Hit it. 1 and a 3. This is going to be the Archfey. And 3 is going to be Pact of the Tome. We'll get to that in a little bit here. For right now, just note that we have it. Background is a 1d13. Roll it. 5 background. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Folk hero. There's nothing special here to roll, and so we're going to do the standard personality array of 2d8. 7 and 7. If you at home if you get this, And you might interpret that as she's just super intent on 7. And that's that. In this case, I want to give her 2 distinct personality traits, and I'm going to re-roll it 1 time. An 8. Alright, 7 and 8 are her personality traits. And then we roll 3d6 for her ideals, bonds, and flaws. 1, 1, 5. Neutral good, which is awesome in the modern usage of the word, not the proper usage. My ranger is folk hero, that's 2. Oh no, it's coming together. Alright, we have a couple details now that need to be filled in. Write down Chia. We have a halfling. Boom, here's our stat line we're working with. They are little shorties. They start at 2 foot 7 inches, and we're going to add 2d4 inches to her. We're going to add 3. So she is 2 foot 10 inches tall. Don't step on her. She's too chibi and cute and precious, despite being this like warlock channeling awesome powers of the Archfey. We're going to take those the 3 and multiply it by 1 pound for 3 and add that to her base weight. And so she is a whopping 38 pounds. I'm 3 foot. You're making my future wife. Hey, you know what? Tell Corin if you want to use that character and incorporate it as such. Hey, there you go. Just know though, she has a pact with the Archfey. She may be your wife, but you might have to consider alternate relationship styles, because there is a another being that she is in a relationship, if not a contractual one, with. So be open-minded. Next, we're going to roll a percentile for her age. As a cat jumps back into the screen here. 27. 27 is going to put us at young adulthood. She is a young adult. That means she's going to start and hover around this cultural/intellectual adulthood age. She's going to be closer to that than to anything else. For a halfling here, that starts at 20 because they can live to be about 250 years old. So given that spread, I think we can give her, maybe 2d20 on top of the 20 to see where that goes. 17. Okay, she's a young adult at 37 years old. And I think that finishes that out. Wow, you're 40. Is that too creepy? No. Hey, look. Stories need to be told, Delcorin. And for everyone else watching out there, stories need to be told. You can find connections. You can make connections. That is your supernatural gift as a human being. You can tell a story. You can make these connections. You can think about things and coincidences and alignments and all these other just fantastic parts of being alive and thinking. And so in this case, Delcorin's made a personal connection. Maybe someone else out there watching and lurking, you're thinking of this character in completely other ways. Here Delcorin's like, oh, this is wife material right here. And maybe someone else is like, no, she's going to be this, like the strong independent adventurer, and she's going to go out and she has this patron deity, and she's going to rise to the top, with these powers, and there's a whole other story in mind for that character. All right, that is going to finish out what we need this sheet for. Now we are going to come down to backgrounds. I fill out backgrounds first because those give you skills and equipment and other things that we don't want to have be redundant with race and class, which we're going to then get to next above. Come down here to Folk Hero. Here we go. These are alphabetically listed. You come from a humble social rank, but you are destined for so much more. Already, the people of your home village regard you as their champion, and your destiny calls you to stand against the tyrants and monsters that threaten the common folk everywhere. Skill proficiencies. Animal handling. There we go. And survival. Come down this way. Bada boom. Tool proficiencies. One type of artisan's tools. I'm going to put the question marks here to indicate that we need to think about which kind of artisan tools she works with as we're developing her personality and her backstory. And vehicles land. So she knows how to drive a a horse and buggy or a cart or a carriage or something along those lines. I mean, it's a halfling, so sort of like a radio flyer wagon. I don't know. Delcorn continues, I'm a 40-year-old halfling ranger that's neutral, good, and a folk hero, so we have a lot in common. Yeah, you can maybe originate out of the same village or something along those lines. Except, well, she's into some freaky stuff, lol. Look, everyone has a kink. Whatever, don't be ashamed of it. And then... you know what, villain? I don't think from the past segment you told me why I'm a poopy head. I think you're obligated to let me know why that's the case. Oh, you know what? A folk hero does in fact have a defining event, which means that as I was composing this, I was a dirty, filthy liar / poopy head, and that needs to happen. There we go. So we're gonna roll a d10 and find out what the defining event for this character was. 10. I'm going to indicate that up here as a note. Recruited into a lord's army, I rose to leadership and was commended for my heroism. Ah, very interesting. Were you in the army too, Del? Feature is going to be Rustic Hospitality. Since you come from the ranks of the common folk, you fit in among them with ease. You can find a place to hide, rest, or recuperate among other commoners, unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them. They will shield you from the law or anyone else searching for you, though they will not risk their lives for you. This gives the phrase, I have friends in low places, way different meaning, because the friends in this case are also very low. Around 2 foot, bordering on 3 on a good day. Here's our personality traits. 7. I misuse long words in an attempt to sound smarter. That is a lot of fun to roleplay at the table. You can take it, and if you don't use it, it's really going to be lost. But if you're sitting down, and it's a good way for you to test your own vocabulary, you can have some fun roleplay scenarios. So, for instance, I don't know, she's boasting to someone about helping out someone she found on a country trail along the way. He suffered an injury. And so here she comes up and she says, "Oh, and I came by just in time. I was able to put a bandage on his wound, and I just was able to get his blood to start conjugating." You know, here she thinks she's using coagulating, but she's using conjugating. Or you can use other similar words, or you can take. This was a good Brian Regan skit where he's talking about plurals, And so you have one ox and you have several oxen. And so, and then it went into, well, can I do that with boxes? Are boxes boxing? Can I get one box of donuts or boxing of donuts? And so she can come and say, oh, and yes, and I came across several boxen, and they were all mysteriously labeled. Intimidational? Is there like is there a purposeful stutter in that? Intimidationally smart? Yeah, kind of, yes. I think that's what I'm picking up from that. So yeah, have fun with this. Do a voice, write out stuff in a notebook ahead of time so you have a phrase for a situation. This is an amazing personality trait that you can have so much fun and create a dynamic character with. Now, in addition to that, what else does she do? I get bored easily. When am I going to get on with my destiny? There's got to be a good phrase for that. So I want to know, when is it we're going to just stop it would have to be, so if I want to do something for procrastinate, procrastinate is why am I derping on this? Oh, it's 131 Delcorin. Procrastinate sounds like precogitate. Why are we just precogitating around here when we could be heading out right now, meeting our destiny, helping people, get things done, and just eat dinner? And it has everyone... lollygagging would be a good one, too. So instead of lollygagging, it could be we are just standing here, jolly bragging around, and wasting our time. There's good daylight left to travel, and I just won't stand for it. Alright, let's continue on. By the way, here's a smarmy-looking halfling down here. Our ideals. Respect. People deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. Oh, that's very nice. She sounds like a little sweetheart. Especially more so that she misuses words. Her bond. I have a family, but I have no idea where they are. One day, I hope to see them again. Memory says, yep, she's your wife, Del. And lastly, her flaw is the number 5. Secretly, I believe that things would be better if I were a tyrant lording over the land. Oh, gosh. We have quite a... we have quite a little cheapie here on our hands, don't we? Sorry, Del. If she's your wife, then she's going to be wearing the pants in the hobbit hole here. Yeah, I'd go crazy being married to someone that misused / mispronounced words. Well, you are completely misunderestimating her. You're practicing free justice. You're being very free justiced against her. And I think we have a couple more things. So we have our skill proficiencies. No, that was entertainer. Here we go. Now we got the tools. We got the equipment. Nope, we need to make the equipment. We get the artisan's tools that we still need to fill in. Shovel. Iron pot. Common clothies. Belt pouch with 10 gapuz in it. There we go. Now we can pop back up to races. There we go. Oh, look at her rocking out. What's that say? Sincerity? I'm using a TV for a monitor and the text is a little blurry. Sincerity regarding what? Or, in the flaws? If it's flaws, it says secretly. Secretly, I believe that things would be better if I were a tyrant lording over the land. Okay, here's our adorable little halflings. Which some DMs might be against, because halflings in some books or some people play them as just insufferable scoundrels that constantly lockpick or that constantly, get everyone else into trouble. Don't be that guy at the table, but also have fun. These are free-spirited folk who don't always understand why you should be afraid of something because they're so engaged with the world. So just, understand there's a little bit of a stigma. All the D&D races have stigmas of some kind. And make sure that you have fun with the character. Yeah, of course I'm chasing after someone that's bat crap crazy. Hi, Perugia. If you need me to go back and explain anything, Del, Perugia, anyone else in chat, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to keep pressing on. So we have our ability score increase. All halflings get Dex +2. By being a Lightfoot, she's going to get Cha +1, which is going to be nice because Warlocks cast off of Charisma. Size, speed is 25 feet. We get Lucky, which is a feat in itself. If you are new here, watching, lurking, commenting, I am writing down the reference name of the features because sometimes there's just too many. And so I have it split to where you could find the specifics of those features if you were curious about them. But these little halflings are quite lucky. It's a way to force rerolls in order to be to your advantage. That's the short and sweet like a honey-dipped hobbit. You are also brave. And possess halfling nimbleness. Common halfling. I floated our charisma score bump, and we also get naturally stealthy. You can attempt to hide even when you're obscured only by a creature that is at least one size category larger than you. Okay, if she's a Lightfoot, then she is too close to home. I retract the wife statement. She's my She's my psychopathic younger sister. Okay, yeah, so you got that very, energetic. I mean, I watch a lot of anime and read manga, so, I'm thinking of all these different tropes of, you have that, hyper emoto, little sister type, and she's just everywhere and everything, and the older brother's just come on, I just want to go to school, or I just want to do something, and she's and this, and there, and over here, and everything is going on. Especially if she's a sporty type. But if she has light blue hair in anime, you watch out. Those characters with light blue hair, just saying. Okay, there is our race and background. Now we are going to scroll down to classes. There's our Warlock. Kind of a creepy looking one here. I mean, Warlocks are interesting because they're not evil, but they get their powers in very mysterious, odd ways. So it makes them appear creepy, even if they're just the most kind-hearted person ever. Delcorn says no comment. Oh goodness. All right, we have a level 9, so we're gonna be looking. We're gonna be looking at this line and above. This is making me way more amused than. We have this like ganky little sister type, and she's just channeling arcane energy from the Archfey, with whom she has a contract. Oh gosh. Okay, her proficiency bonus at level 9 is +4. There's other early patron, pact magic, invocations. Okay, a lot of this. Oh, pardon me. This isn't me necessarily being sleepy, although when I do finish this character, I think I'm going to wind down the stream at the end too. I'm going to get to bed a little early because I have an earlier morning coming up tomorrow than I would normally. But anyway, as a warlock, you're kind of you're seeking out the secrets of the world, and you've entered into this pact, and you're using these powers granted to you in order to, see into places people might not see or tread or go, or you're using these powers in ways that even the patron, him or herself, wouldn't have originally thought. Yeah. I went the normal route and she went the loopy, makes the hand out there gesture route. We are going to get D8 hit points per warlock level. So as a placeholder for that, she is 9. So she gets 9d8 hit dice. And we're going to keep this number in mind so that we can give her her final hit point total towards the end, once we make sure that we don't want to bump anything else up into her con score that will affect her mod. Light armor proficiency. Simple weapon proficiency. What do you mean? No tools, but we still need to determine what kind of an artisan tool that she will be proficient at using. I can go to the equipment section a little bit later. Though, if any of you watching have a suggestion, you can throw it out there. We've built a lot of personality around her already. If something just resonates and pops out, list it. There's not a wrong answer here. Her saving throws that she's going to be proficient in are charisma and wisdom. I say in reverse order to what I'm clicking. Choose 2 skills from Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. Well, her flaw, because she secretly wants to be a tyrant, I think that Intimidation is going to be something that that she should take. And, see here we have this little 2-foot-something tyrant coming up and kind of browbeating people when she's starting to get serious. Like, you need to listen to me more. And, we gotta use a substitute word here. Let's use. Don't you just stand there and ignoramusing me instead of ignoramusing me. So she's gonna be a little like a little browbeater, like a little henpeck. That'll be interesting. So what else? She has this she does respect people, but that doesn't mean she can't intimidate. She can't intimidate them too, especially if she knows if she's getting serious. Misuse long words. Is there anything that could maybe reflect that? History, investigation, nature, and religion. I get bored easily. She's getting bored easily. She wants to get on with her destiny. She's learning a lot of stuff. respect and all this other stuff, I just don't see. I think maybe we're going to go investigation, right? She has this family that she's looking for. She wants to find clues in order to be able to track them down. She wants to put things together, especially if it'll help people. I think investigation will help her accomplish that. How can you be neutral? Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. Delcorn is asking, how can you be neutral good and secretly wanting to be a tyrant? Might she be pretending to be neutral good, but really something else? Memory says neutral is a vague meaning. That's true. There's also, if you're making kind of devil's advocate arguments or something, especially like if you talk to economics, people who study economics, we make economic models around, is there a benevolent dictator? And that's a condition that says there's one person who makes all the rules and it's unquestioning, but for the sake of our argument, this person who wields monopolistic power in a market for, through legal and other means, does actually look out for us and wants us to be better people. So in this case, maybe she has this grand ideal of, tyrant's a harsh word, but it's that if only I could make people understand, or if only everyone knew what I knew, especially, you're making these contracts with Archfeys and everything. So keep in mind that, here we have, she's a young adult, right? She's not even 40 yet, and that's young. That's young for a halfling, and so she has these ideals. Maybe she's freshly indoctrinated into this cult or into this warlock circle or pact or whatnot. And so now with this new gain knowledge, at this point in time in character creation, this is her flaw, is I am going to make the world a better place. And by that she means she is going to make the world a better place. I hope that that offers a ray of sunshine into that bit of cloudiness, because I can totally understand where you were coming from, Delcorin. Let's see, a light crossbow and 20 bolts or any simple weapon. Let's go with a... Let's go with a sling. That would be fun. There's a couple different ways that we can... There's some fun things we can do with a sling. For sake of making sure that the stream is staying, like no worse than PG-13... I can tell some stories in private. I'll put it that way. And especially if we have kind of like an outgoing, kind of earthy, maybe even slightly derpy character, that I could foresee something along these lines happening. A component pouch or an arcane focus. She'll probably go around picking stuff up everywhere she goes, right? If she gets bored easily, she always wants to travel. So we're going to say that she uses a component pouch. A Scholar's Pack or a Dungeoneer's Pack. Well, if she wants to get on with her destiny, she's probably writing a lot of stuff down. We're going to say that she has a Scholar's Pack, because that has paper, I think a blank book, quills, ink, that kind of a thing in there. Maybe also she just likes to draw. Oh gosh, Delcorin. This is your little sister. This is this is Eromanga Sensei. I don't know if any of you get that at all, but it's its own reference. Just it's 1 a.m. and your mind can take you to goofy places. So yeah, she draws, she writes. Maybe she makes poems about herself being the folk hero of the lands as she goes to meet her destiny and take everyone else along with her. And lastly, some leather armor, another simple weapon, and 2 daggers. What would be another good simple weapon here? Club, dagger, a great club. That'd be interesting. Hand axe, javelin, light hammer, mace, quarterstaff, sickle, spear, unarmed strike. What would be a good what would be a good weapon here? So she has some range. She has kind of range or melee. Something that she carries around and You know what? I think we could probably go with... I think we can go with a... Yeah, she can't take a rapier, unfortunately, as a warlock. I think she'd beat people into submission with a quarterstaff. I was actually thinking of a great club. So she uses the club as kind of like a walking staff, except it just has like the really one big end. And then she just carries it on her shoulder, and it looks intimidating. Now, she's probably not going to be the strongest character around, so she's not going to wield it, the best. But here you have this little 2-foot halfling with, just a good solid hunk of wood here that she will, she will bop you over the head with. Or if she can't reach that high, she'll knock the wind out of you, or, make you crumple and throw up in your mouth a little bit from something else. A mighty beat stick. Yes, maybe that's what she named it. I am sure that this character would name her weapons, all of them, but especially her great club. All right, let's get back to classes and come down to our 3 spoopy 5 me warlocks. Here we go. There's our equipment. At first level, we'll put that down here. We have our otherworldly patron, which is the Archfey. You get a being of your choice, the Archfey, the Fiend, or the Great Old One, each which is detailed in the class description. Your choice grants you features at first level and at 6th, 10th, and 14th. And we cast Pact Magic. We know 2 cantrips of our choice from the Warlock spell list. I'm going to make a quick detour and come down here. Eins und zwei. And spell slots. Okay, we'll get into that. Warlocks do spells kind of in a weird way. If you have questions on it, I'll answer it. Otherwise, we're going to just kind of go through the book and maybe it'll reveal itself before you. Invocation 1, which is its own thing. Invocation 2, which is going to be... These are magical effects that are permanent on you until they're not. They augment you or help you do something in some fashion that are just up and always on while they're up and always on. I'm not doing it justice describing it that way, but hang in there. Our Pact Boon is at 3rd level, so we get that. We didn't choose Chain or Blade. We went with the Tome. Your patron grants you a grimoire called a Book of Shadows. When you gain this feature, choose 3 cantrips from any class's spell list. While the book is on your person, you can cast those cantrips at will. They don't count against the number of cantrips known. If you lose your Book of Shadows, you can... Okay, blah, blah, blah. So, coming back down here, we're going to put... 3, any. 4, any. Just as mental bookmarks for us to know that these next ones can be any cantrip. 5, any. All right. What else here? We went over packs, ability scores. Yep. Mystic Arcanum. We're not there yet, and we're not an Eldritch Master. Here's the Archfey. Your patron is a lord or lady of the Fey, a creature of legend who holds secrets that were forgotten before mortal races were born. This being's motivations are often inscrutable and sometimes whimsical, and might involve a striving for greater magical power or the settling of age-old grudges. Beings of this sort include the Prince of Frost, the Queen of Air and Darkness, ruler of the Gloaming Court, Titania of the Summer Court, her consort Oberon, the Green Lord, Hirsum, the Prince of Fools, and Ancient Hags. The Archfey lets you choose from an expanded list of spells when you learn a Warlock spell. The following spells are added to the Warlock spells list for you. Okay. What do we get at 9th? We're going to get 10 spells known and 2 spell slots. Slot level 5th. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to succinctly describe Warlock spells off the top of my head. I have a Gulak, a Great Old One Warlock that plays in my Sunday game, but I have not built a Warlock myself. So doing it in a random sense too is going to be a little bit weird, but we're going to get through this together and I'll explain it, and if we need to go back or if one of you wants to help fill in someone else's question because you have experience, please feel free to do so. This channel is just as much a discussion as it is me putting on some entertainment and a lecture for you all. Ivalon is bored and is crying. I'm sorry to hear that, Ivalon. I can do my best to entertain you a little bit more, but I'm not too good at singing or other things. Blink and plant growth. Archfey expanded spells. In the next one, we have Dominate Beast. Great Invisibility. AES is Dominate Person. Especially if that person is a very unkind older brother who's not listening to her, Delcorin. And Seeming. Oh man, I was going to ask you to sing Carl Orff's I almost used that as my intro music, but I thought Night on Bald Mountain would sound a lot more dramatic, Ivalon. So, great minds... Great minds think alike in this regard. I made the best chicken Alfredo with mushrooms and bowtie pasta for Valentine's dinner. So good. I had pasta as well, Sir Rody. So we're resonating. We're forming a hive mind together, everyone. Ah! Of course I'm not listening to her. She's bat crap crazy. Well, and if you won't willingly, she will make you listen to her. Fey Presence. Now we gotta scroll up this away. Starting at first level, your patron bestows upon you the ability to project the beguiling and fearsome presence of the Fae. As an action, you can cause each creature in a 10-foot cube originating from you to make a wisdom saving throw against your warlock spell save. The creatures that fail their saving throw are all charmed or frightened by you, your choice, until the end of your next turn. This is only going to encourage her, Del. Misty Escape. Starting at 6th level, you can vanish in a puff of mist in response to harm. When you take damage, you can use your reaction to turn invisible and teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. You remain invisible until the start of your next turn, or until you attack or cast a spell. Pardon me. And she's not quite high enough to get beguiling defenses. Alright. Let's see. These are the goo spells. Alright. What level Warlock? 9. Ivalon. She's the 9th level Archfey. Let's come up here. Archfey and Pact of the Tome Warlock. So these are your Eldritch invocations. Agonizing Blast is one. When you cast Eldritch Blast, your charisma modifier to the damage it add your charisma modifier to the damage it deals. That's a bread and butter damage spell for warlocks. That means that if this invocation is active, you just get to do this because it becomes a part of your character. You give your character this ability until it is somehow replaced or turned off or something. Or we could say Armor of Shadows. You cast Mage Armor on yourself at will without expending a spell slot or material components. Ascendant Step, although that's a prerequisite, it's 9th level, so she can do this. You can cast Levitate on yourself at will without expending a spell slot or material components. Beast Speech, Beguiling Influence. So we see here that, so these are her options. These are almost like taking mini feats for herself that she can use to accent who she is and what she does and how she does things. Ivalon, so we have 3 cantrips, 10 spells, and 2 5th level spell slots. Yeah, if you're looking ahead or you're looking back up, that's what we're looking at here. Let's see. She gets 2 invocations. There's some very peaceful music as we're looking at all these invocations, let alone her spell sheet. Sculptor of Flesh. You can cast Polymorph once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do it again until you finish a long rest. That sounds like something that she'd do. Polymorph as one. And the other... She wants to get on with her destiny. She wants to find her family. Secretly, she knows that she has this path that everyone should be on. Oh, this would be a good one then. Repelling Blast. So when she hits someone with her Eldritch Blast, she can push the creature up to 10 feet away in a straight line. So she's a little thing, but she's packing power. Use Levitate to look people in the eyes. You know what? I think I like that better than the Polymorph. Especially because she's this intimidating little thing and she will look you in the eyes. Oh gosh, I like that. What was that called again? I mean, Sculptor of Flesh sounds very interesting too, but what is that one? That you made a very good point. That makes me happy. Ascendant step. There we go. She may want to find me, but I don't want to be found by her. She's like a floating bundle of demon spawn cuteness. Yeah, you know, got like the 2 pigtails or whatever. Nice bright eyes. I guess these are hair and eye details that we can fill in too while we're at it, right? Okay. Now we're going to come back here. Ten spells known. But we have 2 spell slots. Of up to 5th level. Where would I... On this sheet, how would I indicate this here? We'll just put 2 spell slots of 5th level, because you can always cast lower level spells higher, but this is just saying that here's your highest, and you can cast 2 spells off your list at up to 5th level. And again, this is how warlocks are different. You have 10 spells known, you have 2 spell slots per short rest that you can cast through. Aside from that, you're augmented by your invocations, which are giving you these semi-permanent effects, and you also should take Eldritch Blast, which is a very good damage dealing cantrip. Yeah, Ivelion, Ivalon, I think it is, not Ivelion. I want to put an extra I in there for some reason. And invocations known. Oh no, she gets up to 5 invocations, so we can still do. Three, 4, 5. We'll do the polymorph one. Yeah, Ivalon says, for example, in your 9th level, you have 2 5th level spell slots. To cast the 1st level spell Thunder Wave, you must spend one of those slots, and you cast it as a 5th level spell. We'll do the polymorph one. Let's do... There was one that was specific to her being the book. Like the bookworm. The Book of Ancient Secrets. You can now inscribe magical rituals in your Book of Shadows. Choose 2 1st level spells that have the ritual tag from any class's spell list. This is a good one for wanting to keep time. I don't want to put a ton of spells in here. I would recommend this, but I will pass this for right now, and maybe we can come back to it a little bit later. Eldritch Sight is really good, getting a free detect magic. Why am I... Yeah. And... Mask of Many Faces is a good one. That is the disguise self. So Del, she can look like anyone. And this is just going to turn into a very interesting manga. She's the reason I left home as fast as my little Lightfoot halfling feet could go. Yay, rituals. Rituals are good, Ivalon. I'm just being a slightly lazy DM in this session to not want to go through and search out more spells and go that route. Though, by being in the book and getting those extra cantrips and getting more spells, you obviously would want to, as a PC, research spells and have those available to you. I can see why now. She was drawing pentagrams on the floor. Yeah, hopefully not using like the house pet rabbit's blood or anything. Jeez. I'm starting to picture as, yes, I was the older brother, but she was the one tormenting me. She probably got her powers at a very young age. Well, you know what? If she's tormenting and whatever, Fae are not nice. You have elves, which are Fae technically, but even they're kind of like haughty and stuck up. But when you get down to like pixies and dryads and all that, some of the like the Fae can be some of the cruelest, like most conniving creatures that could exist. Oh, so Delcorin, you want to imagine she was born with her connection? So maybe she was born under some auspicious circumstances and just kind of grew up into her powers that way. That could be true. Or heck, I don't know. Maybe your mom is secretly this Fey ancient who is laying low or just wants to be among mortals to spice things up and live differently. So maybe if not you as a half or a full or adopted brother, maybe you're actually just offsprings of this Archfey who is being Susie Homemaker in the Halfling community right now, just to mix things up. Yeah, gnomes are Fey too, Ivalon. They are foresty. Well, generally. There's the rock gnomes, but still. There's rocks in the forests. Okay, let's dump stuff in here. We're going to give her the 15 in Chaw because she is a Chaw caster. Dexterity is going to be important. So she should have a 14 in that. Investigation is going to be important to her. 13. With her personality, I don't see wisdom as really being key. I mean, because she might be easy to manipulate because she just trusts this Archfey straight up. This might be cool and weird because I hardly ever see this. Let's make wisdom her dump stat and give her an 8 in that. And then we'll make her a little hardier, and then we'll give her average strength. I think this could be a very cool setup for a character. You have two dads? That's really Fey. That is... Oh, gosh. Oh. Maybe the dad is Fey and my father's really the mailman. Yeah. Look, man, it's 118. You have to accept this. Memory. This is... I mean, I'm helping to spur, but this is definitely getting into some very interesting anime and manga style direction. Oh gosh, this is... I have a huge smile on my face. You guys are so awesome tonight. Oh, this chat. My gosh. Okay, now that we have this, Dex becomes a 16, as does Cha, because of the racial bonuses. And she's going to take 2 more bumps because she's level 9. She gets one at 4, one at 8, and we rolled that she does not take feats. So, I think we can... So now if Dell is trying to turn this kind of somewhat personal here, maybe we just go straight up Chaw, and she's just this personality to be reckoned with. Like, her personality is her force. That would be interesting. And then she just maxes out charisma so early on at this point in time. I don't know. Maybe we could spread it out a little bit. Maybe we can go charisma 18. And then why don't we... Oh, but she has survival and animal handling. Boo. Okay, we'll swap these, and we'll make her a little derpy, but she's still a force to be reckoned with, and I guess we'll pop her wisdom up to 13. Yeah, we're writing to the background. If we're gonna make random characters, sometimes we have to fudge things and make things work one way or the other. With that animal handling and survival, it's just sort of like, doo. Otherwise. Yeah, derpy. That's not fair. I'm at -1 charisma. Okay, so we're going to do that, and I think we should bump, for the second ability score increase, or ASI, we're going to do the 1 and 2. So that is going to give her a wisdom of 14. And then we can bump up, we'll get her edging right on the next level here. So she always has this, like, threatening gleam in her eye. Like, yes, I'm almost there. This is a +0. This is a +3. This is a +1. This is a -1. This is a +2. And this is a +4. We're going to transfer these over. Strength is +0. Dex is +3. Pineapple and pen is a pineapple pen. Intelligence is -1. So if you know any illusion stuff, you can cast illusions on her and she'll totally buy it. She's probably kind of gullible. Wisdom is proficient, so that's going to be 4 plus Wiz is 6. And her Chaw, 4 plus 4 is 8, unless we're using some weird new math. Acrobatics is dex-based. That's going to be a +3. Coming down to her other dex skills, Sleight of Hand is going to get a 3, and Stealth is going to get a 3. Next up is Animal Handling, which is Wiz. That's going to be 2, and she's proficient, so this is going to be a +6. What else does she have Wisdom in? Insight is going to be a +2. +2 for Medicine. +2 for Perception. And +6 for Survival. Arcana, just because she wields magic doesn't necessarily mean she knows what it does, which makes her being able to cast Detect Magic at will all the more hilarious, because she'll see it everywhere, but does she know to say it, or does she understand what it is, or does she just say, yes, I can see the patterns of magic, and she gets this, this bold pose, as if she's an authority figure, just hoping that no one asks her, well, what does it mean? What kind of magic is it? -1 history. However, she does get a +3 to investigation. -1 to nature. -1 to religion. Strength is a +0. She has average strength. Deception. She is very good at deceiving. That's a +4. Intimidating is a +8. Performance is a +4. Persuasion is a +4. And there we go. If she's wearing leather armor, we can add in her full dex. So that's going to give her a 14 because she doesn't have a shield. And her initiative is going to be a +3. All of this is just starting to pour in line now. This is going to be +7 to hit. And fortunately, daggers can be finesse, and we're going to use dex instead of strength. So this is going to be another +7. And there we go. Rydell says, yeah, someone keeps telling her what all these words mean, and she believes it. Yeah, she wants to sound smart, right? If she has these plans on wanting to dominate the countryside and rule as this benevolent dictator, as soon as she can like make everyone succumb to kindness, and she's like a really dark magical girl if you think about it. But yeah, people keep telling her all these big words, and so she wants to use them, and she just completely bungles them. And then she wonders why everyone is laughing at her and probably makes them explode. She is Lena Inverse. Oh my gosh. Do you know who I'm talking about? If I say Lena Inverse, chat, please tell me. This room is full of magic. What kind of magic? Did I stutter? Oh gosh. This is just this is too hilarious. Okay, let's do hit points. She gets max at level 1, which is going to be 9. And then she has 8 more levels of I do half +1. So it's a D8, so she gets 5. That way it's predictable. It's easy math. So 8 times 5, so she has 49 hit points. Oh, +1. So that's 48, so she has 57. There we go. Whoop. 578 hit points. Ah! Okay. So without completely going down into the spell list, and maybe this is something that we can pick up at the beginning of next session and go over it, and I can be a little bit more I could be a little bit more detailed on warlocks and spellcasting. Why don't we finish her up for the night, for the stream here, and talk a little bit about her physical features, and also she is going to need a name. So any of you in chat, do you have a concept for how she looks? It's not just how what color her hair is. You know, is it wavy? Is it long? Is it multicolored? What about her skin? Does she have freckles? Tattoo? Is it mottled? Is it dark? Is it light? And her eyes, etc. And then we're gonna want a name to go along with this sort of evil Emoto / chibi style character. Delcorn says, never got into manga and anime much other than Macross, Outlaw Star, Last Exile, and oh, wait, you have some good ones in there. Lena Inverse is from a series called Slayers. She is the main character who's a sorceress, and that could be an interesting model. A modern adaptation would be what is it? Konosuba, I believe is the name. It's the girl who casts explosion magic, and she's just very she's lighthearted and fun and absolutely destructive. So maybe that would be a modern incantation of Slayers if you didn't know what Slayers was. Delcorin is saying Abagail, but Abagail what? She's emo. So right now we have Abagail something. Let's see. I think that... So this character, as it's popping out to me, I think we should actually give her... we should make her eyes kind of stand out. Like, she's made this... She was either made this pact or was born under this pact of the Feywild. And, oh no, Ivalon... Okay, oh, Megaman, that's right. Ivalon, I'm sorry, I forgot to... I have to turn off my capital letter buffer because I realized if I'm doing D&D streams, people are going to want to shout kaboom or explosion or things like that. So, I'm sorry it dinged you there. Yeah. Mega Man who knows the explosion spells. Yeah, I know, Evelyn. I got to get the all caps thing taken care of here. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Anyway, I even forgot. Oh yeah, so she was born under this Fey pact, and as we're coming up with this story, in fact, I'm going to make a note of this here. Born into the Fey pact. So we're going to give her something like, it's kind of mystical, makes her stand out. Something that maybe is cute looking, but it can also be very determined. So why don't we give her something like swirling lavender irises. Well, not even that, eyes. So her eyes just have this very, think like, what would be an example? I don't know, they just have this like swirl inside of them. Not like a spiral like Riku from Final Fantasy X, but there's just this lavender color that's always sort of, flowing, and it looks pretty and it's light. But when she gets upset, the lavender, like, it stills in a pattern and it grows dark, and it's very obvious when she is eyeing Delcorin to blast him with a spell because he's not paying attention to her and being a very bad big brother. Yeah, Lena Inverse Slayers is very much worth watching, in my opinion, especially if you want to get into D&D and other role-playing things. It has some good old-school stuff in it, too. Perugia, like smoke. So there's like this fluid, like a violet smoke is her eye color. But when she gets upset at Delcorin, I don't know why I keep specifying that, but when she gets upset at Delcorin, like the pattern freezes and grows dark, and like her eyes get this depth to them instead of this smoky airiness. And then you know that things are going to happen. Her skin, let's see. Maybe something, if she's out a lot, she's a folk hero, she's traveling around. I think she's going to have something like, let's give her something like an olive skin tone. Olive skin, but because she has this Fey influence, it is just like super smooth, just like unnaturally smooth. Despite her, being kind of a magical tomboy out in the countryside. And her hair, maybe we go with something olive skin, so some darker could work really well in that case. Or we do something that plays off of the eyes a little bit. And we do almost like almost like in anime where they call it antenna hair, but maybe in this case it's swept back. So what goes well with violet? What goes well with something like that? Maybe a brown. So maybe she has a light brown hair with 2 streaks of violet that come up, like kind of like from her eyes, right? So instead of getting the white professorial streaks that some people get, she actually has 2 natural streaks of lavender hair that come up from above her eyes, and they're mixed in with her otherwise light brown hair. Black with purple highlights? That could stand out as well. Because she's wacko and she blames me for anything because she's wacko. I would think it would be cool if when she gets mad, pentagrams form in the irises. Okay, well, I guess I wasn't even necessarily thinking she had irises or pupils. Like, her eyes are just a solid color. But, these are details that we can go over. Does she have irises, pupils? Does she have this kind of like blanked out swirling purple mist in her eyes? So in that case, has anyone ever actually seen her eyes? Because maybe she has normal ones, but because she's under this Fey influence, no one ever has. And maybe that's kind of a point of soreness for her. Or, I don't know, maybe Dell is the only person who has seen her eyes, and it gets her really flustered, you know, or, you know, we can come up with all kinds of ways to write this fun personal story for her, or with her, and, you know, the adventures of Abagail and Big Bro or whatever. Okay, we pretty much have a character. I think the spells need a little bit of tweaking yet, but we found a really cool concept. We're gonna need a last name for Abagail too, or a middle, or both, or I don't know. These are halflings. They come up with different naming conventions, I'm sure. But with your all's help, we did an amazing job. This was such a fun character to generate and a story to tell, and I can't wait to be able to pull her together with the other characters we're making this week into our final, like our week's storytelling session at the end, and be able to help highlight some things or account for ways to develop her as a character even further. So with that, I'm going to go to the ending card here.